In the last video, we discussed 3 more of Robert Gagne's events of instruction. This time discussing events that might be more clearly aligned to the instructional portion of lesson planning. They were presenting the content, providing learner guidance, and eliciting performance. With these 3 events in mind, let's turn now to 3 teachers and see how they might instruct during a lesson. This time, these 3 instructors will be teaching at the high beginning or low intermediate level, and they will be teaching a grammatical lesson on the future tense to junior high age learners. Once again, we'll have Jack and Jill give us some immediate feedback. Let's begin with Teacher 1.
So, let's talk about the future tense. Remember, this horizontal line shows time, and this vertical line means right now. When we talk about the future, it means sometime in the future. I will draw an X to represent sometime in the future. Remember, we could be talking about tonight, tomorrow, next week, or next year. Any other words? Yes, there are many words that help us know we are talking about the future. And there are 2 ways to express the future: be going to and will. Look at our examples. A, I'm going to leave at 9 tomorrow morning. And B, I will leave at 9 tomorrow morning. These sentences, A and B, have the same meaning, but sometimes be going to and will express different meanings. We will learn the differences a little bit later. How is this different from the past or the present tense? Let's look. If we have the sentence, see, Sam is in his office, what tense is that? Present. Good. Now, how about sentence D? Raise your hand if you know. Sam was in his office. Yes, correct. It's the past tense. So, how would we change this sentence to the future? Let's do it together. Sam is going to what's the verb? Be, right? In his office. Okay, now let's do one more. Let's use will this time. Sam will be in his office. Great job! Now I'm going to read about something I wrote when I was younger. I was 12 years old when I wrote this, and it has a lot of my hopes for the future. Remember that I will be asking each of you to write about your dream job, your dream house, and your dream family. While you listen, see if you can hear for my dream job, my dream house, and my dream family. In 10 years, I will be a writer. I will write many books. I'm going to have a great big house.
Wow, I love the use of diagrams and examples, Jack. I like that the teacher has been asking questions all throughout the instruction. What's your take?
Well, Jill, you've known me and we've worked together for 15 years. So I think you'd agree that I'm not very good at subtle touches. But there were some nice subtle touches here. The teacher gave instruction, then modeled the instruction with something she wrote when she was younger. Excellently done. And even more impressive, the teacher mentioned the objectives again to help them realize that what she was modeling is something they will be required to do later. Pretty nice work.
I'll say. And speaking of subtle touches, the teacher also stimulated recall of prior learning by mentioning the present and past tenses they have worked on in previous lessons. This teacher is a star. Let's look at teacher 2.
Okay, everyone, let's turn in your books to page 55. Who can tell me what the 2 kinds of future are? Anyone? Okay, yes, there is going to and will. Now, I'll read you 5 sentences, and I want you to tell me after each sentence if it is future tense or not. If it is future tense, it has going to or will. Now, raise your hands if you think the sentence is future, okay? Let's start with sentence 1. We will go to the movies tonight. Number 2, we are going to see an action film. Number 3, we love movies at night. Number 4, we are paying for the tickets online. Number 5, we will buy popcorn and soda.
I really appreciated the activity. It seems like a good way to help students look for the future tense and practicing their listening skills.
True, Jack, but if you'll go back to the tape, you'll see a glaring problem. No diagram, no examples. It seemed like this teacher moved too quickly from presenting content to providing guided practice. Let's keep watching.
Now let's work in pairs, and I will go around the room as you complete activities 4, 5, and 6. For exercise 4, you need to write out your answers. Exercise 5 requires you to take turns asking questions to each other. And exercise 6 is an interview. Okay, go ahead and get in your pairs.
One thing you're probably surprised that I noticed is that the activities here aren't all the same. There is a written, listening, and speaking activity. Great variety.
That's true, but did you notice that the teacher didn't really model any of the exercises?
Nope.
It might be a bit more difficult for students to do any of these activities without a bit more direction.
I did not notice, Jill. In fact, I didn't notice that I put on my pants backwards this morning. But really, I wonder what the final performance might be. Is it the interview? If so, I would have loved to have had a model of what a good interview might look like. Or maybe they did show it. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. All right, for the sake of time, let's go ahead and move to Teacher 3.
Okay, class, today's lesson is on the future tense. You need to complete exercises 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9, and 11 by the end of the class. And if you have any questions, raise your hand. We're going to be checking the answers at the very end of class.
Aha! A classic example of a teach from the book teacher. This teacher believes that the book is in charge of the instruction rather than the teacher.
And that's probably bad, right, Jill? There is no instruction, no modeling of the content, and no real group or pair work, so... Well, I guess it reminds me of the good old days spent with my economics teacher, soccer coach. Sitting at a desk, getting paid. He was living the good life, I tell ya.
There you have it, 3 teachers giving a lesson. While you didn't see these 3 teachers present their full lessons, we hope this gives you a taste of some of the different ways teachers interpret these 3 events and how lesson planning often goes within a classroom. In the next video, we are going to review Gagne's theory so far in preparation for a final quiz. By the way, have you noticed in our video the use of any of the 6 events we have been discussing? Do we, in our videos, try to gain your attention, state objectives, stimulate prior learning? Do we attempt to present content clearly, provide you guidance, and lead you to perform the material we have taught you? I sure hope so. Whether online or in person, these learning events can give your class structure and substance and help learners to engage with the material you are presenting. See you next time.